Good afternoon, everyone. Hope things are well. Hope you are doing well. Fallout for the Nottingham Forest game yesterday. Newcastle are now well and truly back into the Champions League push. Beat a team that, you know what, despite the fact they were 4-1 down, they were quite good yesterday. That Forest team, I feel like on social media has been almost portrayed by Newcastle fans to not be a great team. That Forest team's top draw yesterday. There's a reason why they have been the top four, but you're talking almost the entire season because they're able to pull out the bag. Despite being 4-1 down, they actually took it to Newcastle. I know it wasn't a good second half of Newcastle, but the important part is, and the reminder being, is that we have beat a massive team yesterday. That was a huge 6-pointer where if Newcastle lost, we'd be completely out of any form of Champions League football push. So the fact that Newcastle won and we are still well and truly in there. Not to mention as well that the other fixtures went Newcastle's way. City lost, Bournemouth lost, hell, even Arsenal lost. I know they're far ahead of us, but all the teams around us lost. So Newcastle came out of the weekend with a good set of games. The issue being is that Liverpool is next. Oh, Liverpool is next. I am dreading that game on Wednesday. Yesterday, they were top draw against Manchester City. Mohamed Salah is still on red-hot form. And it's a match where Newcastle need to think this through carefully, because if we were to put out our best 11 on Wednesday and let's say Liverpool win 3 or 4-0, a bit similar to the Manchester City game, imagine how shot mentally we would be going into the cup final, walking away from that game. So it's a match that tactically we would have to look differently into doing. So I'm not entirely sure what we'll do yet. If you want my personal opinion, I would not mind us at all. 6-4-0, 6 defenders, 4 midfielders, just go out there with the sole purpose of just kicking the Liverpool players over. Honestly, just clatter Salah every chance we get. Just don't bottle a single 50-50 just to play a horrible S-house football and just to pee Liverpool off ahead of that final. And that's just my horrible mentality. But just before we get into things, guys, we do have a bit of news today. If you're new around here, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button as well if you enjoy. And of course, speaking from that Nottingham Forest game, the big talking point yesterday, Nuno Santos, of course, what in my opinion probably is the manager of the season if you aren't going to give it an answer. Going out of that game, did not shake Eddie Howe's hand. At least he didn't initially. So he actually snubbed Eddie Howe off after the game, which in the manager's sense, it's the first thing you always do after the final whistle. You always go over, you always shake the opposition manager's hand, and he did not do that going out of the game yesterday. Now, there are positives and negatives towards this. The positives being is that this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see this dark art. I want to see the opposition manager, the opposition players come out in the press conference after the game, and I want to see them talk negative about Newcastle, because if we are forcing them to do that after the game, you know Newcastle's done something well. And it's easy to forget for that second half yesterday, but you got to remember, Newcastle scored 4 goals in 11 minutes yesterday. It was very similar to that Tottenham game a couple of years ago. Newcastle were, we had a very dominant first half. We were really good in the first half. And again, Newcastle have just played a top 4 side in Nottingham Forest, and we've peeved the manager off that much after the game, where he's just broken principles. It's an actual principle, he shaked the opposition manager's hand, and he just didn't do that. He just went straight over to the referee. So, yeah, of course, a negative point of view, bit of a sore loser mentality, I would argue. You just can't do that as a manager. Even if everything went against you, you still got to show respect to the opposition team. You didn't do that. You simply didn't do that, and it's that simple. And I'm not going to make a big drama out of it, because I don't think social media has picked up on it too much. But again, it is a lack of respect from Nuno, whether he agrees with the game or not. My personal opinion, I didn't think there was anything in the game that really kind of suggested that Forest could have came out of the game with any negativity. I think there was one stage where there was a potential shirt pull inside the box towards Forest, but I mean, take away that one incident, I wouldn't really say there's anything in the game where Forest have been hard done by. I think the games went fair for the most part. Again, with most officials in the Premier League, I think the officials are rubbish. I think maybe in Forest's point of view, it might have felt like there should have been more than 3 minutes added time. at the end of the match. But again, I don't think there's enough in the game to really suggest that Forest have been hard done by. I felt like the 4-3 result for Newcastle was fair. I felt like if Newcastle was to drop points that game, it would be our own undoing. And yes, okay, that nearly happened in the game. But there was nothing in the game for me to suggest that Forest got done over. So Nuno's reaction at the end of the game, I would say, of course, in the moment from him, but I would say it's not justified. I don't think not shaking Eddie Howe's hand is a justified response to that game because there's nothing in the game to suggest otherwise. But yeah, I still like Nuno as a manager. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna critique it. I'm not gonna change my opinion on him because of that. But you've got to shake the manager's hands, and he didn't do that yesterday. So we will have to call it out for what it is because it is quite bad sportsmanship and a bit of a sign of being, I guess, a sole loser from the game. But again, I haven't got an awful amount of complaints to say about the game yesterday. I felt like social media. I know you guys have your opinion on the match. That's fine. I'm not going to say that you can't, but we won the game. I think it's hard to forget we won the game because a lot of fans in social media have almost reacted as if we didn't win the game, and it's easy to forget with the way that second half was. But you've got to stick with the lads. That was a top 3 points, and I mean, for example, at the game yesterday, there's kind of people on my block that just weren't clapping the players' hands after the game. They had their arms folded and they were quite peeved off towards the game to an extent where they weren't even clapping our players off, which is just, I mean, utter lunacy. We won the game again. Yeah. What are people expecting? Like, we won the match. We're going in against Liverpool now. I just hate the Wednesday fixture. I just wish we weren't having it. I am dreading that game so much, and it's just, oh, I just wish we didn't have them before the cup final because it's. I legit don't know what we should do in this game. I don't know what I would do again because if we put our best 11 out and they absolutely torture us on the day, our players' heads will be so down for that cup final. They'll be so deflated and they'll have a bit of a loser mentality before we even went to the final. And just taking on a Liverpool team at their best, of course, Salah one of the world's best informed players. Newcastle need a game plan, I reckon. I reckon we need to try and catch them off guard on Wednesday. Whether that be a case of playing tactics that we wouldn't normally play, or it's a case that we change the formation, drop players entirely, and just completely change our game style just to suit that game. I'm not sure what we would do though. So for you guys watching this video, what would you do? Because I'm a bit puzzled here. I'm really stuck. I don't know what I would do if I was Eddie Howe. So for all of you watching, I'm intrigued to see what you would do because we're going to need something to go our way on Wednesday. We desperately just need to get out that game with a competitive game. We need to be competitive. We need to probably take it to Liverpool if you have our best 11 out. We need to just get at them. We need to force it and we just need to play similar to the way we did at St James's Park. But judging by our last couple of away matches against teams that are in this top 4 region, we just weren't anywhere near that City. And I'm a bit scared that we'll have a similar City-esque performance against Liverpool because that is the one game where we cannot have that City-like performance against them because that'll be the real killer we could have just a couple of weeks before our cup final. Liverpool, Brighton FA Cup, West Ham away. That is it into our cup final. It is truly counting down now. Newcastle have not got many games left, and in terms of form-wise, going at that final, we're looking better. We are looking better. We just need to probably consolidate our performances, especially the next couple after Liverpool. Need to beat Brighton, need to beat West Ham. I feel like we've got to win those 2 matches going into the cup final. And I feel like Newcastle, confidence-wise, will be fancying that final. We've just got to be ready for it because Liverpool, maybe a bit on and off in terms of performances, but results have been the same for them. They've been picking up a lot of results. But they have PSG before us, and that Champions League match is equally as important for them. Got to have a good first leg against PSG. They'll have aspirations of wanting to win the Champions League this season. They've got to go all out against PSG. And despite not having Mbappe, PSG have been good this season. I've been actually quite impressed with PSG this season. So Liverpool won't have an easy time against them. That's a real horrible fixture for them to have before our cup final. So again, we've got to see how they do. But we can definitely have some things going our way. We just need to get past Wednesday. That's all I've got to state. That's all I've got to mention in this video. We just need to get past Wednesday. We need to get over and done with, and we need to just move on to the FA Cup game. God, that Wednesday game's just doing my head in, I can't lie. We just need to get it out of the way. We need to just get it. We just need to move on from it. We need to get it in the past straight away. and we need to focus on the next 3 matches because they're all massive games. But we've got Anfield on Wednesday, so let me know your thoughts down below. You take care now. It's nice speaking to you all. Of course, the big topic being Nuno Santos did not shake the hand of Eddie Howe after the game. What's your opinion on that? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching anyway. Take care, and we will see you all in the next one.